Nixon and other people, what they did was they basically took over. I had given South Africa, or I had set up an aircraft manufacturing company in South Africa, and I was going to make a couple aircraft down there or something like that, or I had an airport down there, aircraft down there, military aircraft, and I had given them some aircraft to defend themselves with. Anyway, they got a whole bunch of other aircraft, mostly my old stuff, not really my new stuff, not the German aircraft or anything like that. What they're talking about and the war and the pictures that they're putting with it, with the firebombing and all that other stuff, they fought against the South African. Eventually, the South African even had like 4 or 5 P-51s. I think they had yellow tails or something like that, or yellow. They were painted a certain way to indicate South African. South Africa would have a yellow color to it. Um, anyway, though, basically the blacks took over South Africa, pretty much, and then with the Filipinos and the Yankees, I believe, and the black South Africans. Anyway, they were doing mob tactics where they would act like a gorilla, and then they would run at women and basically rape them, pretty much. Um, and they would start with 5 or 6, and then 15, and then they would just run and basically take over a town and pretty much kill all the men, rape the women, and then blow everything up or just live there and whatever. Anyway, basically just like people just taking over whole cities, and pretty much they didn't mind killing and raping, so they just took over cities. And then everything would break down. They run out of food and fuel, of course, and coal or whatever. And then they would just move on to the next town. Basically, moving up from South Africa, basically just like 150,000 or a couple or like 5 million people, just basically besieging the rest of the world. So pretty much I was moving everybody up into the country, up into Africa, up into well, everyone was coalescing in Germany anyway, the train railways and everything, and everybody was coming into my Auschwitz and everything else, and I was defending, and there was this huge battle. Basically, we were holding them down there in Spain or whatever. We were basically fighting over Spain pretty much, and they were kind of trying to come around. I think coming from the backside of Germany, like another like 150,000 or something like that. We were doing pretty well though, I think, because I had the coastline along in there, and then and basically it was like just a bunch of people just running and basically raping women and pretty much killing and just stealing and everything, and then running away to some country. I think America or something like that. Anyway, I moved over to America and moved all the refugees into America anyway because America didn't have any real war, and I think it was safer. I'm not exactly sure. I had some bases set up or some places set up, and they weren't being attacked, I don't think. I forget exactly how I did it. I had my German troops, I think, take over America and the United States first because I also had to secure Panama. I think I also secured Panama. Like Cuba was trying to rush Panama or something. They were trying to do a mob tactic there, and I think I used Germany to basically squash that down and beat them back into Cuba or something like that. Um, and they were just mobbing at the at basically everything, pretty much at the farms, at everything, and pretty much it was just Filipinos and I believe Yankees and black people, South Africans, and they were just raping and killing pretty much. Nothing. It was just blatant, just basically blatant lawlessness, like a race war. They were going to eliminate the British and eliminate the Germans and basically take over or something like that. Anyway, I had led certain parties, and then and most of my aircraft got down into Africa. I gave them some bombers, like 30 bombers, and like a couple aircraft, and they immediately used those to basically start bombing and killing everyone. And they took them over and pretty much just kept on doing mob tactics to where there was only like the average age in South Africa was basically 6 years old or something like that, and they were just basically trying to mob into Germany, and so and the cities were turning into rubble. It was basically just like the Middle East, pretty much. Only it was Germany and what's called, and they're basically just running up in there, stealing whatever they could get, and basically destroying everything. and they would basically bombard a town to cause confusion and everything else like that, carpet bomb a town, and then they would run in there. Anyone who was still alive, they would rape or kill, and basically take whatever they had, pretty much. So I was moving everybody out of Europe and out of there. I moved the women and children to America where it'd be safe because I'd used Germany, I think, and I had secured Cuba and everything else like that. And there wasn't that many people down there to begin with anyway. And it was just a Filipino thing. Anyway, believe I secured Cuba and Panama, and basically got all of them away from there, or at least pushed them back and held the line to where they couldn't come up into America because it gets kind of pointy there. And they weren't really using ships; they were just using like there's 5 million of us and we're gonna take over, So they were basically just like massive, like everyone marching into my civilization areas. So basically, I was keeping them down, I think, somewhere around in Spain, holding them there, and because they were just raping and killing everyone. Like there was no rhyme or reason to them other than rape, kill, steal, basically drink every bit of wine and everything else, and basically I don't know. Anyway, so they're like a fire burning itself out. So basically, I was using my ships and my submarines. They were trying to use to destroy my ships. I think they had taken a couple submarines. I think they took some submarines or something like that over, killed the crew, took over. Were using up. They basically just used up the ammunition, ran out of ammunition, and then basically just scrapped it or whatever. I don't know what they did with them after they used them. They would just steal submarines and then they would run off with them, and they would try and kill as many ships as they could until they ran out of ammo. Which, I mean, the subs had about like 10 torpedoes or a little few more, but they really couldn't get any more torpedoes because, it's all high-tech stuff. And it takes, you need to have the manufacturing capability, and I have the manufacturing capability, and they didn't. They were trying to take it over, of course, but they really didn't, and I was moving all my operations into America anyway, so what was in Europe was basically just leftover stuff pretty much, and I was mostly just trying to get the women and children out as many as I could. And get everything over into America. But America wasn't exactly all that set up, and we were trying to get it set. It was kind of set up, but not that set up. And we were trying to get more set up while we moved everybody out of Europe, or at least into like some other place that the South Africans couldn't get to because they were just raping and killing and basically killing everything and everyone in their path. And so we used carpet bombing and basically lots of bullets and basically beat them back into a holding pattern where they couldn't move forward and all that. And I don't really know. I mean, they were just trying to kill people. I mean, it was, I don't know. They just had overpopulate. I don't know what the deal was really. I mean, JFK was kind of like playing both sides too, though. Because like he was trying to be a senator and trying to be president while I was dealing with Europe and trying to basically save people over there. So it's kind of like he was playing both sides, and all that stuff. Anyway, I don't really know and I really don't care because I'm still Lucifer White Star and basically everything was mine. So either way, he was going to come up pretty much. And he's already lived and died, so... and got away with his psychopathic behavior, and it was just crazy psychopathic behavior and something I had to deal with. So, anyway, but then again, I'm the great Lucifer Star, and he was just a small little man, grasping at power.